Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be women who purposefully hold back. Well, this particular viewer has written me before, and I think I did a video, for YouTube video a while back, 2-3 weeks ago, called Beware of the Shy and Structured Woman. And so this is he's been continuing to date this particular girl, and he's having some of the things that I warned him about in that letter or that video. He's seeing some of those same behaviors that I warned him about. Because the things that are really important, if you want to have a really great quality relationship, you got to make sure you get a good quality woman who doesn't have any weird hang-ups. She doesn't hold back. She's got an open heart, and she's a good, normal, healthy person. And the idea by applying the things that I teach is to help you screen out women that are not good candidates. Because a lot of guys, they project their high interest onto a girl and they ignore the fact that she may have all kinds of baggage or she's a shitty communicator or whatever, and they get emotionally hung up on the girl because they're fearful and they haven't got to the point where they have an abundance mentality where they realize, hey, it's okay to reject a girl. It's okay if you realize a girl just doesn't have all the qualities that you want. The worst thing you can do is to settle, because that's what caused me to get married when I was in my mid-20s to a girl that I wasn't in love with. I loved her. She was a great gal, but I wasn't in love with her. It was out of my fear that I would never find anybody better, and listening to everybody around me and doing what I thought I should do instead of what I felt I should do, which was deep down I knew I needed to end the relationship. I just was young and inexperienced, and I didn't have the balls to get out of it. And so he says, hey, Corey, thanks so much for your response to my email. So I've been dating this shy and inexperienced girl that you covered in the video you did for me, and your advice has been 100% right. She really seems to be warming up to me more and more, and maybe, just maybe, she's one of those diamonds in the rough. Only time will tell. This girl is a keeper. I'm just not sure if she's a keeper for me yet, but she's definitely a great woman. A few quick questions. This girl very rarely initiates touching of any sort. When I initiate it, she goes along with it and really seems to enjoy it. When I kiss her, she really gets into it. Is this just something about this girl that won't change, or maybe the interest level goes through the roof, she'll initiate more? Well, like I said in the video, Beware of the Shy and Structured Woman, you got a girl that's uncomfortable and she's holding back, and it appears that she likes you because she is kissing you back. But then again, you are the first guy that she's really dated because she doesn't have any experience, so maybe she's just going along with it. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, she does kiss you and she makes out with you and she reciprocates it, but I mean, think about it. Let's fast forward 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Say you end up staying with this girl and you marry her and you get into a relationship and you have kids. Do you always want to be the guy who initiates sex all the time? Do you always want to be the guy that initiates all of the touching? And I mean, think about it. Some women just are not givers. Some women, like my own mother and my own father, they were completely cold fish. And even to this day, my dad's 62 years old, and I can count on one hand the number of times my dad has said, I love you, where he said it first. That's just the way he was raised. And I've talked to him about it till I'm blue in the face, but he's 63 years old, and that's just the way he is. He's told me one time in my whole life that he's proud of me, and I'm 42 years old. That's the way he is. My mother was a cold fish, and everybody in her family was the same way. They never hugged us. They never touched us. And even now, my dad, the funniest thing in the world is to watch my dad and my uncle hug each other. They're brothers. It's the most awkward thing you'll ever see. And they're just, they look so uncomfortable hugging and showing affection. It's comical. It makes me laugh because all of my friends, my close friends, and even my girlfriends, even some of my ex-girlfriends I'm friends with, we see each other, we hug each other, we still kiss each other on the lips, we still say I love you to each other, and it's like being around him is just like being around a stranger, and that's the way he is, and he's never going to change. No matter how much I try to talk to him or tell him or suggest to him, that's the way he is. And so the question you got to ask yourself is, do you want to be in a relationship with a girl that's that way? Do you want to raise your kids, have your kids raised by a woman who was a cold fish like my mother was? Because it totally emotionally fucked me up for a lot of years. Because when you grow up in a family where you never get told I love you, your parents never hug you, they never kiss you, and not only that, but your relatives on both sides of the family never touch you or hug you or kiss you. what happens is your kids grow up with a low self-esteem because the only time the parents talk to them is when they're getting yelled at, and they're never going to say, I'm proud of you, or I think you did a great thing. It's they constantly yell at you, basically, or they beat the shit out of you like my dad used to do, because my dad he was drunk every night, basically, when he came home, and he was angry and pissed off at the world, and he usually took it out on us kids. Mostly, he took it out on me because I was the oldest one. And so what happens is it causes you to grow up being shy, insecure, unsure of yourself, no confidence at all. And so if you can just stay with this girl long term, I mean, people don't change. They can become better versions of who they are. But if she's not a giver, if she's not the type of person that's going to be touchy-feely or affectionate, just like my mother was, just like my father is. My mother's since passed away, but my dad's still this way, and his brother is the same way. I mean, he's a total cold fish. I love them both because they're family, but that's just the way they are, and they're probably not going to change. And so you got to ask yourself, do you really want a relationship with a girl that's never going to hug you, never going to kiss you, she's never going to initiate it, she's never going to tell you I love you, the only time she says it. Like my dad will say I love you, but the only time he says it is when I say it first, and he just parrots it back to me. So it's like, how can you really feel that he means it? You know what I mean? It's like, think about that. That's going to fuck your kids up if you guys have kids. And I'm just telling you, from coming from a family like that and growing up in a family like that, I hated my fucking childhood. And I couldn't wait to get out of that household. And it's funny, like, when I listen to my dad and I talk about it, he said the same thing about his own family. And he hardly ever spoke to his parents his whole adult life. And there was probably a period of about 20 years he didn't talk to either one of his parents. It's just the way he is. He never made the effort. Even now, he doesn't make the effort. And the only reason I keep in touch with my dad is because I make the contact, because he won't do it. It's just the way he is. Like, he's estranged from my brother. My brother doesn't even talk to him. My brother hasn't talked to him in years, because that's just the way it is. And so I'm just telling you, dude, that's why I talk about these things, because I have life experience that has value and that can help you avoid a lot of the same mistakes and a lot of the fucked up background that I came from. So he says, the other question is, sometimes we have pretty long periods of silence. Today we went out of town. We had a 2-hour drive each way, and I'm used to a girl talking my ear off when this girl would just sit there silently if I don't start a conversation. I maybe stupidly brought this up to her at the end of the day, and I told her I don't see it as anything wrong with her at all, but I'm worried that it might be an incompatibility. She said that she's that way with her friends as well, and the silence is comfortable for her. I'm not uncomfortable with it. I'm just not used to it. Would this be a red flag? This is more warnings that this is a girl with a low self-esteem. It's obvious this girl is emotionally fucked up. She probably came from the same type of family that I came from. Now, it doesn't mean that she can't overcome it. It's just that, do you really want to be the guy that's going to do all that work and try to make her into what you want? I mean, you're used to going out with women who talk and who participate in the conversation. And it's like, it sounds like everything is pretty much one-sided in this relationship. So you got a lot of things that you need to consider there, dude. You know, especially if you're going to continue dating this girl going forward. I mean, it's not your job to be her psychologist or to be her shrink or to fix her or try to make her into what you want. If she's not exhibiting the behaviors that you like, that's why I encourage you to date other women. And, you know, the interesting thing is, if you grew up in a family where you didn't get the affection or the love just like my mother did, it's like the relationships that I had when I was younger, I pursued a lot of women who had no interest because it was the same kind of relationship that I had with my mother, just cold, emotionally distant, unaffectionate. And so you got to ask yourself, did you come from that kind of a family? And is the reason why you like this girl so much is because she's emotionally unavailable and distant, just like your own mother was? Something to think about. So if you have a question you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your questions, and just give me several days to get back to you. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which can be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, go to my website, and on the right-hand side, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, on the right-hand side, there's a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install it, and then only a few more seconds after that to complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information in my videos, you can, in my articles on my website, you can show your appreciation by going to my website, and on the bottom of your screen there will be a toolbar. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.